Today I'm bringing out a recent project, not because the project is special, but because it shows the exact process I use to turn a random idea into a finished video. Before I get into the timeline, let's start with the original idea. A while back, I dropped a video short film called The Path to Insanity. And in that video, I talk a lot about passion and repeating a thing over and over again, basically driving yourself to the point of insanity, becoming so invested into what you're doing. That is probably the closest I could get to explaining that video. But where did it come from? What was the initial spark? Well, for that, I would have to rewind all the way back to December of 2025. Early December, I made the decision to stop being on social media a lot and to really focus on what I really wanted to do with my life, what I wanted to focus on, and stay away from my phone as much as possible. And from that month all the way up to, I want to say March, every day in the morning I would write. When I would wake up, like 3 pages every morning. I went on a huge rabbit hole of learning how to color grade, how could I make it better, understanding it, and I noticed I improved a lot during that time. Aside from that, I was actively going to the gym, and then aside from that, I was really trying to get better on my speech, which for a lot of you that don't know, a long time ago, I used to have a real bad speech impediment. Like, if it's bad right now, I promise you a long time ago, it used to be a lot worse. That right there was the spark that I really needed to create the video. All of that got me thinking of like obsession. It got me thinking of like driving yourself pretty mad over your own craft. Now, shifting over to you can do that to create an original idea for yourself. If you're going through something in life, or maybe you have a deep feeling to get a feeling out of the way, or it could be music. I know a lot of the times I get heavily inspired by music. So right there at the base, make sure that whatever you're going through in life, write it down. Write down any life experience or any feeling that you might have or any thoughts. I would highly recommend writing it down. And when creating a video, ask yourself, how do I feel? How should the audience feel when they're watching this video? What did I learn from making the video? What did I learn from the experience? What can the audience take away from the video? Once you have an idea written down, you know what you want to do, now you gotta move on to the actual planning. For me, when it comes to videos like this, where they're not really a narrative or I'm not using other people in the video, I think the Notes app is fine. I pretty much write down the idea there, and then I begin to write down everything that I'm thinking or feeling into the Notes app, and I go from there. After that, I created the shot list, which I use the app Milanote, and in Milanote I broke it down from the plot to the creative direction to even locations. For every line that I had, I made sure that it went with a visual, and all the visuals I got it from Shot Deck. They're only to reference what I have in mind. Now, I'm not going into it robbing shot for shot and whatnot and making it identical to other people's work, but they're a reference point. That way, when I get to shooting, I can look back and remember, okay, I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like. So make sure to plan out your video. A lot of the times it could get real difficult if you are playing it by ear or playing it off of memory. I think it's way better if you plan ahead, if you turn it into a shot list. That way the day of, you know what you're getting. You're not taking too long on getting the shots, and it would go a lot smoother if you do it that way. For the video, it was mainly my wife and I had to make sure I directed her and told her what we're doing, how it should look like, how it should sound like, what should she be doing. We even went to different locations for the video, and I made sure I showed her what we're doing. That way we are just in and out, and she knows, okay, it's not gonna take that long, and the shoot becomes a lot easier and quicker. Going on different locations ended up being a little bit of an obstacle. I normally do everything between my wife and I, and it's normally here at home. home or anywhere around the area. But for this video, I really wanted to hone in on me going to speech therapy, and I didn't want it to be like we're at home for a couple of the shots. So I made sure to go and find a location that looked like an office, and I didn't have all the things to decorate it to make it really look like that. When it comes to films and videos alone, it really comes down to like what you want to do and how much money you actually want to spend on things like that. When we were at the office, which we rented out for like a day, a couple of hours actually, we didn't have a lot of things to put up. And for me, it's a good reminder that not everything will be going smoothly. Not everything will be perfect. Not everything will be the way you visioned everything. There are gonna be bumps in the road. You kind of have to just take that and make of it what you will. I like to have my editing timeline very organized, and I did that with the bins. I made sure I have everything separated from Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, voiceover, B-roll, the workout video. There's a part in the short film that involved a lot of like gym activities, and I wanted to just make a folder with it. Then I have a music bin and a sound effect. When you become very organized and you plan out the shoot, you have a shot list, you know what you're going into, you are not gonna have that much footage leftover. For the beginning of the video, I used weird like blood injection type deal. I don't remember what was going on through my head, but I really like the way they looked. I got it off of Motion Array. They have a bunch of like stock footage, and I ended up using I believe 2 of them. I really wanted to make the intro feel very like weird. I'm a big fan of music and having something set the tone for the rest of the video. I'm just a very big fan of like cool visuals to start the video or short film, just something that will let the viewers know what we're getting into. We go into Act 1, which is speech. I begin the video talking about doing the same thing over and over again can take a toll on the brain. The opening shot is me in speech therapy. I'm over here repeating a couple of words, trying to get better. And then we go into the first wide shot, which now looking at it, it was a really empty office space. My wife right there kind of pretending to be the speech therapist. Right here, kind of punching in a little bit more in my face. Then we go back home and I'm over here contemplating, trying to get better, you know, writing, whatever the hell it might have been. In the short film, I'm calling a girlfriend, a significant other to come over and help me out with my speech. That ended up being my wife again, which it looks a little bit different when you don't have other people in the video. You know, she's playing the role of multiple people. When I go into the speech impediment thing, it shows up on the timeline. I don't know why right here it's not showing up, but whatever. But it shows up behind me. I had to create a mask of me. That way I could put the lettering behind me, which I thought was very cool. In the house, I'm practicing. I'm trying to get better, and then I go into a little bit of my backstory. I go back into like why I even wanted to get better. As an adult, it really got to the point where I really wanted to get rid of it. I looked it up and I began training, practicing, trying to get better at it. And then we get into Act 2, the gym. The gym is a part of my life that I really enjoyed. And then I talk about athletes and how they go into training and how they work out, how they are very passionate of what they do and how they want to go for greatness. They want to become the epitome of like being perfect at a sport. And for me, I never really got into sports. I never liked them as a kid, and eventually I got older, I began eating junk food, whatever I wanted to, and eventually it led me to become fat. There I have again, trying to play off that my wife is my mom, even though she's not, and she's telling me in Spanish that I am fat, that I need to hit the gym, which actually is the backstory of how I even got to the gym. And then, you know, we have me at the gym training, talking about how eventually I got like a feeling of enjoyment. I really like the gym. I like the fact that every day I felt like I was getting better, getting a lot stronger. But then that eventually led me to become too obsessed with the gym to the point that I only wanted to eat healthy all the time, not even a cheat meal. I felt bad at one point. My wife was like, what do you want to eat? I included it on here, a little bit of a humor break, I guess, to kind of get a little bit of like a joke in there. She's telling me, what do I want to eat? And I'm like, fish. And I'm like, or chicken. And by the way, I love this shot right here. Probably my favorite shot in the entire video. We're talking about like what we want to eat, and I'm over here telling her fish or chicken, trying to be healthy. She's getting a little bit annoyed, like, damn, we've been eating fish and chicken for a whole week. Whatever, we go with fish. Me looking in the mirror being like, damn, I'm really becoming who I want to be after I dropped a lot of weight. If I did all that with the gym, doing it every day, what more can I do? And that eventually led me to thinking of like, maybe I could really focus on my videos and my speech. We got through Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, we go into videos. Here, we get a little bit more of me being very passionate about YouTube, that I've always wanted to create videos on YouTube and put them out there for the world. Here we go to the library again. I really like the shot. I really like this shot too. I go and tell her about ideas that I had back in the day. So yeah, I talk about like views, you know, why not? We all know a lot of people that do YouTube, they want to feel good and they want to get a bigger audience and they want people to watch their stuff. I kept doing it over and over again, and eventually it led to nothing really happening. I felt a little bit stressed out. I figured I maybe am not cut out to be a YouTuber or to even be creating good videos, whatever, and it led me to like back off. I mentioned that I got a lot closer to God. I got way more close with my family. I got way more close to my art, like reading and going back to even like drawing. It even led to like me not playing video games that much, which I show in the video. And I go through a different stage of my life where at the end of 2025, I really had to think about like what I wanted to do, who I wanted to become, and we wrap up the video. That is pretty much the video of me figuring out like, okay, I know what I want to do. I am gonna go 100% in on it. I want to be able to change for the better. When you really want something and you have a different mentality, you kind of have to go all in on yourself. And that to me was a path to insanity, because I pretty much did nothing. I made sure I stayed away from the social world. I didn't look at Twitter, nothing like that. And it felt like my brain was actually alive, and I felt, I don't know, I felt very different. I felt very different taking on that journey and getting to the point of quote unquote insanity. But in reality, it really became like an obsession of like trying to be who I've always wanted to become. End of the video. And then we go into a little shot of the Chicago skyline, which it can't get better than that. One thing I do gotta mention though, looking back, what I could share that I learned, definitely to not try to come off like too serious. I feel like with me, a lot of the times that I have a feeling, an idea, I really want to get something out of there, my mind immediately goes to like, oh, we should make it dark, we should make it serious, and you know, it should be like a real hard-hitting thing. And looking back on it, I liked the video, but it could have been a little bit more lighter, a little bit more fun. I like that I am telling a part of my story, like a real life thing. I like that. But I don't know. I don't know why. Y'all let me know. I could be wrong, but I felt like the video, to me, it came off a little too like serious. Oh, and before I forget, that is right there, the whole timeline, the whole video. But then on the right of it, we actually get to see that I had a bunch of different clips that I wanted to work on my color grading. They look way different than the final version of it. Till this day, I feel like I'm still learning and trying to understand a little bit more but I did walk away learning a lot in that creative journey. What I wanted to end the video on, I know it's probably a long video, but videos and short films, sometimes they are experienced and not planned. A lot of the times to create art and to create videos that you feel passionate about, the majority of the time, I think it works really well, and you will feel a lot better if you create from your heart and if you go through life in general. It might be a trip that you went on, it might be a different album of music that you really got into, life experience. Anything like that can trigger you to write and create a video. That right there is true art from yourself. And I wanted to get that point across, and I wanted to show everyone what it felt like going through that creative journey. I put it out there. That was my art. I will catch y'all in the next video. Have a good one. Go create art. Later. Bye.